Welcome back to the last and final match of the day. And while the past one and the one before that were bangers, I think it's fair to say that we have kept possibly the best, hopefully, for last. As Hit and Weekend, current places 1 and 2 on the leaderboard, are going to fight it out. And whether this one is going to tiebreaker or not, I'm not even sure. If Weekend can take it with a tiebreaker win, but with a clean one, definitely looking to dethrone Hit.
They've had a fantastic run so far, beating Cashback as well. But Hit will be an even bigger test than Cashback, because we saw Cashback lose against Yogurt as well. So, you know, anything can happen there. But this Hit and Run team, usually very, very good at dealing with these newer teams in general.
And I think that is down to the crazy amount of experience that you see between those players in their lineup. Weekend, no slouches though. A lot of their players have made appearances in other teams, and in this one before here, they're here for a reason, and so far the performance, the best one out of all the new teams, although that isn't exactly the hardest thing to pull off currently.
No, for sure not. So between these two, Weekend has shown that they're a very good team. They were playing very well as well, so which means that the community prediction is a little bit more balanced while still favoring Hit and Run. I think that's more realistic between these two. 30% for Weekend, and they have shown that they're a good team, so I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think 30-70, which this basically is about fair. Maybe even a little bit on the low side for Hit, because I think Hit so far has been playing absolutely picture perfect. When I saw the second playday and their match against W, where they ended up kind of rolling W with the 3-0, I was like, oh my god, Hit are the guys to watch out for this season. And they were able to reconfirm that on the last playday. Now we see two players here being matched up against each other. Win rates 100% for Franek, but that is going to be the same, I think, for every player on the team of Hit, because so far they've had 9 rounds and 9 wins. You can see the KDs as well, 17.0 against 15.0. I think at least for one of those players, that one's going to go down. I mean, Hit and Run historically is one of those teams that when they pick up steam, they just don't stop rolling. Although Weekend, I think they've demonstrated that they're a force to be reckoned with. Let's check in this first game here on Ensk how it's gonna go. Hit and Run, I think that is the final lineup already. Double BZ, 1 Type 5, a Fosh B being played by Barbarian, and triple E4.
In return, Weekend with the triple BZ, a Type 5 Heavy, an Object 140, and double E4. So again, going and opting for those BZs, but Hit and Run has their own as well. If you look at the Hit and Run lineup, maybe potentially a bit more tanky with that Fosh B and E4.
Yeah, I think there is not a single tank on the Hit and Run lineup that is not either tanky by itself or healthy by itself, or both in the case of the Type 5. So Weekend has their work cut out for them. Monster is going to boost towards the green side, but maybe that is not what he wants to do, as Weekend are sending a lot of forces there. Meanwhile, Hit are fairly split. They have those E4 aiming down the rails, but they're not finding any targets at all. Monster even selecting and opting to boost further. He is behind the house, kind of safe. Crossfire into Sunshine, minus 1200.
Initial damage on towards the position. Sunshine pays for it, but can he take the strike at the very least? That's a different question. It does seem like he's capable of doing it right now, but Hit and Run have a pretty good chokehold on the map as it is.
Yeah, those E4s that are aiming down the rails, they would be able to punish anything by Weekend that tries to make rotations. As we see, the cap is already down towards 20 seconds. Obviously, Sunshine was able to pick up the strike, but Clownzik not with the best of trades, as he ends up putting one into DJ. More retaliation coming through, so now Panfury getting rotated towards the front, but we need to see the strike reset. It's only going to come into T-Sec, but as Ketsai took an HE, this means both tanks are completely reset, but the strikes have been spent, and now those E4s are going to be the ones to watch out for Hit and Run, because they are going to cover T-Sec and Ketsai that are capping.
But in return, actually, it's Weekend starting to get ahead slightly in the HP department. They're paying a little bit now for this crossing. yet again, but they've been getting really good shots, and T-Sek's position on the outside, if somebody was to cross over the K-line, I don't think anybody can right now without being spotted though. They will completely hammer down on towards these positions. I said now coming in with the BZ is actually going to be blocking as well, boosting, holding on until the strike will be coming off of cooldown. And so far we can't hold off this initial aggression by hit and run.
DJ in the E4 has been split off, though. He's going to take an artillery strike, and Ketsai, who we saw take some HE splash earlier, was full HP again. Don't think he's going to be returning to that, though, as he takes 1200 to the face. That was not the peak that he wanted to make. There seems to be an angle below the rail cards on towards Iset, but Franek just missed it, and Iset kind of perma-spotted at this point in time. I guess that can happen if the rail cards do get destroyed. T-Sek looking for the angle as well, and he gets it. Shot into Iset.
Yeah, Iset will probably stop blocking now. But again, hit and run still has a lot of map control. Nonetheless, DJ now pushed up with that strike in hand on towards the south. Ketsai looking, but because of those wagons, that secondary rail is really making it hard for him to shoot that one effectively. You would need to be on the lower end of tanks, something that's like very low to the ground, because finds it in between though. You see that there's like a small gap between the wagons? Yeah.
I think the hit players have probably spent extensive time finding out in training rooms where exactly the gaps are in those cards, and I said right now paying dearly for trying to block the cap here. Down to 835. That is 2 shots from high alpha guns, or not even so high alpha guns. The cap down to 20 seconds, but a strike that Sunshine had collected earlier does come in to save them. But I think Weekend recognize that they cannot keep it up here. They're sending a lot of tanks towards the green side. Monster starting to pay dearly for this as well, down to 2k HP. He does have backup though, Barbarian behind him with the Foch B, and this is prompting hit and run into this repush in the south part of the map. Monster completely isolated here, getting taken out by a lot of tanks. Kano also with a lot of DPM to support. Monster is not going to be able to sustain.
Sunshine actually finds the first kill, as I said, finds the second in that BZ75, finding DJ, and it's going to be pretty good here for Weekend. They find one, they find two, they pull the trigger on that field, and yeah, Barbarian with the Foch B has 6 shells, and I think he did most of them, but Weekend really showing that they are a capable Ensk team. Good rotations, coming back across the map and shutting down hit and run in round number 1 on Ensk, and that is exactly what they need. Immediately putting down their foot next to hit and run and show that they've come to play, and in what a fashion as well, looking to keep all 7, make that 6 of the remaining 7 alive.
Yeah, Barbarian, he was in A0 for most of the game, but I think the angles of approach that Weekend chose here were exactly designed to counter a TD in this position, and this is why he maybe has a lot of damage at the end of the day, but wasn't able to have the biggest of impacts. Weekend, the team current place 2 in the OLS, are going to get the first point on the board against the team in the current lead.
Ended up finding him by destroying the wagons, but also paid a lot of HP for that though.
I mean, it works both ways, right? If
there goes Franek, he is the ruined.
Ruined. Yeah, maybe from 17 he's now down to, 8.5. Tragic. But yeah, it works both ways, right? If you destroy the wagons to spot the enemy, you'll be able to spot them, but they will be able to see you as well, and that is when you are opening yourself up to the possibility of a lot of punishment, which Ketsai this round definitely took. He healed back some as well, but it wasn't enough, and that was actually a very clear round win, 7-1 in tanks. So Weekend opening up on hits map pick very well. Then again, I think if there is one team that sometimes loses their map picks but wins the opponents, it is also Hit.
At least he's consistent.
Consistently bad.
Yeah, Phil expecting a 3-2, so he's expecting a close match. We all expected 3-1. This is going to be tough for us to get it right though, because we need Hit to win the next 3.
Never mind though, maybe Hit and Run are going to have a say in the matter. BZ75, triple Type 5, a 140 and double E4. Triple E4 now.
Triple E4, 140 and triple BZ from weekend. So minor differences, mobility versus that extra meat from the Type 5s.
And I think the BZs as well, they have this problem against the Type 5s that not only do they need to flank to really be able to reliably pen their shots because the heat pen is not the best, by doing this they actually open themselves up for those HE pens. Never mind that though, weekend, a lot of the players spotted here going on the field, and this is making Hit hesitate as Kano with a good first shot. That means he immediately has the Inspire available. Evilok though, not with the best trades, and Sunshine is going to maybe be able to start taking the artillery strike.
Yeah, Evil in that E4 taking about half his HP in damage, but here comes Hit and Run. They look like they want to re-pressure this almost, or at least make some peaks from these positions, as DJ, T-Sec and others are peeking out from those angles, trying to get those connections, and Sunshine currently looks in a position where he can get peeked from numerous angles. It's not looking like he can be fully safe from everybody.
Yeah, I think the problem for him right now is Franek, because he's holding the off angle. He needs someone to suppress that 140, but of course Franek has the bush to play with. But I think Hit and Run are starting to think that they cannot really contest this. This is why they're starting to rotate back. However, Kano on the offside, very mobile with that 140, is starting to take the artillery strike, and this means that currently Hit and Run have not really picked up any of those neutral objectives. Kano is probably going to transition in towards the info tower as well, which means that Hit are going to be playing without some of the information that they would likely want to have, as Kano sees the E4, takes the hit, wanting to stick it. No, never mind. He's going to start moving away. Doesn't want to risk it, as T-Sec gets spotted on the cross, takes a big one for doing that too. And I think Kano realizes it's time to run.
Flash Panda is actually starting to pressure up zero line, and this is the reaction from this weekend lineup, pressuring the zero line. The strike coming out as well. They will need to kill this 140 if they want to make this work. Trash Panda already missing on the first. Clownzik now coming in. That's the second strike as well. They're focusing everything on towards this 140, and now Hit and Run will try to stop this. Will try to do the damage back on towards those tanks from zero line. Is Franek gonna die first? The Inspire, it's a crucial tank. We've seen it time and time again, how much it can add to a battle. Sunshine not finding the shots. It has to be Clownzik and Trash Panda to do it. Trash Panda's Amarak though, so right now Franek surviving on a sliver of health as Clownzik tries to shield Trash Panda. It's not happening. The HP yet still even though. Clownzik needs to remove this Inspire. He does get it. T-Sec will reinforce the position though, but the Inspire is lost, and that is important because Kano in the meantime is continuing with his Inspire, farming away at Ketsai as well. Sunshine boosting back in his BZ75 to help this 140 against this. Ketsai will give the shot even towards the BZ75, keeping that 140 all the more healthy as Kano is on fire. That's the second 140 we see on fire today. He's still taking a little bit. Sunshine gets the finish. The Inspire comes back in, and currently 5 on 4. Make that a 4 on 4, but HP lead for Weekend.
HP lead for Weekend, and as you said it, the 140 is still up and available. Big shot into Evil though, coming out from Monster in towards that E4 that I don't think it was even mitigating it, but Retaliation coming through. DJ and Barbarian taking one each. Hellrap and I said currently on cooldown, and once again it's going to be Kano with that 140 to be the wild card. He does take a shot of damage as Weekend managed to remove one more tank from the lineup of Hit and Run. 4 versus 3 situation. I said extremely healthy. Good peek into Pan's Fury, who's down on a one shot, and Hit and Run, they're just starting to run out of the HP required and necessary to stay in the battle.
And now 3 on 3. Monster did find a kill, but I said finds Barbarian a 1v1 of the ages. I said probably very happy about that one. And Weekend, unbelievable, win their map pick 2-0. I mean, the 140 ruining his KD is potentially possible, needs to live. Will he find it? He does, stacking it up even a little bit more. We'll have to take a look at how high it peaked, all-time high for the 140 there. But you know, Weekend 2-0, man.
There you're just going to have to bite the bullet and take the damage. And this in turn means that Weekend here looking like the team of the day to beat, at least so far. Hellrap 10, 10, 9, not much more to be desired from him. I said 9, 9, 8 as well. And, I mean, Evilog, not the best pen rate here, but overall, I think the shooting was still fairly okay. Kano, okay, a little bit of a question mark, but at the end of the day, the fact remains that Kano stayed in the game, while Franek did not.
Yeah, that 140 kill is so crucial on Zero Line, right? They basically lose double BZ for it, but he dies. He dies. And in return, the other 140 does only 2.5k damage, but the Inspire.
But Weekend wouldn't mind to take an additional 2 in this coming round here. Match point for Weekend against a team of Hit that so far looked extremely good, but have now lost the first 2 rounds for themselves in the OLS. They are trying to avoid the whitewash with the double IS-7, double Type 5, double E50M, so everyone has a friend except the 140, that is the singular Inspire medium.
We can in return double BZ, double Type, an E50M, a 140 and an RHM. So information advantage will be with Weekend. Can they utilize this?
That remains to be seen. First of all, Weekend needs to figure out that Hit and Run are also playing without a light tank, so it's not like the light tank from the start of the game can simply go and, you know, play as if there wasn't an enemy light tank. That is actually the most dangerous thing, because that's when you get caught out and completely die. So balancing this aggressive playstyle with still staying cautious is the balance that the light tank players always need to find. Sunshine on a defensive route currently towards A0 has kept his plane as well, so both teams kind of playing blind here at this point in time.
DJ will take the Western Strike. There is double tank from Weekend going B2 though, very, very deep, but there's 4 tanks there from Hit and Run. However, they will be spotted out by this information tower. DJ will take the strike, but Evil, Hellrap, and Kano in that 140 are going to set up a triangle of doom as the plane will strike on 1-2 line. We have seen games like this, Kihan, and if you can't push 1-2, it's usually not the greatest scenario, because you can slowly get repushed back on towards C1, D1, and then lose all the positions because of this.
Hellrap even pushing up now in the BZ. He is unspotted. He can do this, and then he'll have a bit more map control for himself, together with the 140 and the E50M behind him. Maybe Hellrap even looking for a shot in towards Monster right now, but the march of the elephants over the cap has started. T-Sec and Ketsai with those 2 Type 5s looking to close the distance as DJ takes a big swing into the side of his IS-7. Sunshine taking the other information tower as well, and I think Hit and Run understand that they need to start snowballing out this game, whereas Weekend, they need to bring their tanks into the fight. Evilog and Hellrap currently in the middle of nowhere, so they're not able to support Trash Panda and Clownsick, who have started reversing in those Type 5s. Good shot by Trash Panda, but the strike is starting to come in. The E50Ms have come as well. The DPM has arrived.
Now Hit and Run will have to kill both of these almost to make it worth it, because Clownsick is definitely going to get around this corner. Panzer Fury is trying to go as far as possible, but that's a 1-2 combination to the face of that E50M. They're going to continue swinging. They're going to try to go for this BZ, and right now Weekend trying to pull the rest of their team into position. I said is 100% the next focus in that BZ75. Didn't opt to take the strike that was available, decided to go back, and he is going to be the one that gets focused out. But Barbarian in return in no man's land, trying to run down the streets of Ghost Town. The double strike will come out again, but a double punch will come out as well on towards Panzer Fury, who's getting flying from the right hand side as well. Another E50M isolated, and it's not the Type 5s, it's not the IS-7s that are dying, it's the DPM, it's the E50Ms. The tank you want to stay alive that is falling as first. And look at A8, that object 140. Whenever you're not looking, Kano puts himself into a position to completely dismantle your team, and dismantle is currently what's happening to Hit and Run. They do have still 5, make that 4 guns available, but the HP is so very dire. And Hellrap, good awareness, realizes Barbarian is coming, wants to make the kill against the C50M. Is he going to be able to do it? It does look like he might just about do it. No, he ends up missing. Evil doesn't get it either, so they got to be careful. It's 4-on-4. They will lose this C50M as well. They need to close this game out. They have everything in hand, but they still need to bring it to the end.
Kano has arrived now at the scene of the crime, though, with the almost full HP 140, so he's not in any immediate danger of dying. Trash Panda also extremely healthy. It is 7.2 against 2.5k as Sunshine finds the kill on Barbarian, equalizing the guns once again. Monster finds himself in a pickle, in a crossfire to the Object 140, newly buffed Alpha 340. That should be enough for Monster as it is. Monster one more shot from the grave, but now DJ in an unwinnable scenario against the Type 5 manages to Amarak Trash Panda, but very good driving skills from him. He's looking for the overmatch, he gets the side penetration, and Weekend, they complete the upset here. The whitewash, hit and run, undefeated before this match, not dropping a single round. Now it is a 3-0, and looking at your face, you have as many question marks in your eyes as I do.
Yeah, well, deserves for Weekend. They just run over Hit and Run 3-0. Even this round, I mean, Hit and Run's trying to make some push, but it's double Type 5 you're trying to kill. There's only like very minor things where you can say that maybe this could have been the better Weekend. It's like I said, I think could have taken the strike before he went back, just to be, you know, have another weapon in hand. He wanted to support his Type 5s, understandable, but it was like really close to the strike coming back. And Trash Panda and Clownzik are just having a great time, and you know, Sunshine doing work in the RHM Panzerwagen as well. It's such a hard push for Hit and Run to execute because of the distance they need to cross, and then they're pushing onto the Type 5s, which is the tank you want to get pushed on. So they do like 2.5k burst, and then he pulls around the corner, and it's like, well, now what?
Yeah, I think Sunshine in this game, kind of the difference maker with the RHM, realizes he can go aggressive on the field as soon as they start having the info on the Type 5s in the middle. This means that, you know, it's probably not going to be a field play. At that point, he snatches the info tower, and from there on out, hit and run. They need to commit somewhere kind of blindly, and they are trying to pull all their forces towards the Type 5s, which I think it's the only call you can make at that point in time, right? Because the Type 5s are not going to join, to be joining anyone else anywhere around the map. Instead, it is the other tanks that need to come towards the Type 5s. But Weekend very, very well set up to deal with this. And this means that we have a new leader in the AMD OLS Season 4. It is unexpected, but maybe not unwelcome Weekend. 4 wins, 0 losses, dropping only a single point so far. Hit, though, still in second place, slightly above Mafia.
Yeah, but at the same time, we gotta imagine, though, that at this point, you know, Yogurt winning, Mafia's win streak also getting back up there, putting themselves equal to Hit and Run. Yogurt now closing the gap together with W towards Cashback, and even slowly towards Hit and Run for W. So everything is coming back together for that top 6 in a way. But Weekend, of course, you know, being a little bit ahead, but outside of that, the top 6 closing in on each other and putting everybody within striking distance. One bad play day, all of a sudden you're equal. Another bad play day, and it's already looking tough. And that's more already looking towards, you know, like the second phase than anything else, because to be realistic at this point for Vortex and Carrillo, to come back into it is going to be a miracle by itself.
I think it might still mathematically be possible.
It was as mathematically possible as McLaren losing the constructors this year.
Yeah, well, not gonna happen anyway.